How did a brutal and ruthless regime nearly rob this country of one of its unique art forms and assets? The story is about Cambodia and its world-famous golden silk. But first, what's so special about the golden silk, you ask? Well, unlike regular silk that comes from the commonly found white silkworms, golden silk comes from rare golden silkworms. These golden silkworms have adapted to the climate of Cambodia and feed on a native variety of the mulberry fruit. This is what makes it unique. But Cambodia nearly lost its prized traditional golden silk because of a communist government called Khmer Rouge. Let's dig deeper into the story. The unique silk's roots go back more than 1,000 years to the Khmer Empire. As far back as the mid-20th century, the Cambodian silk industry was booming. Following World War I, silk production reached 150 tons annually. But by the end of the 1960s, it had declined to 20 tons a year. What happened? The Khmer Rouge, a radical communist regime, came to power and wanted to convert the entire country into an agricultural economy. In their quest, they targeted artisans, intellectuals, musicians, and others who were critical of their rule. Those who couldn't cope with the intense forced labor on farms were exterminated. They even targeted minorities, killing nearly 20 lakh people in the country. As the regime cracked down on artisans, the skills and traditions required to harness the golden silk that had been passed from generation to generation for centuries were also dying. The Khmer Rouge even destroyed the mulberry fields on which these gold silkworms bred and replaced them with rice plantations. However, all was not lost. There was hope and resilience among the Cambodian people. Many Cambodians who escaped and lived as refugees in Thailand returned to Cambodia after a peace treaty was signed in 1991. These people wanted to save their traditional silk weaving skills to honor their ancestors. So, they set up a project to re-establish Cambodia's gold silk weaving industry, one that needed a lot of work. However, the nation had lost many acres of mulberry trees, essential to growing gold silkworms, and the new generation was clueless about preserving and breeding these worms. But Cambodia hasn't given up. Its artisans are working to bring their golden silk back. They have reportedly planted around 30 acres of native mulberry trees and have set up many breeding sheds around the plantation. But this isn't easy, as making Cambodia's traditional silk brocade can take up to 3 years. Also, the golden silkworms produce just 25% of the silk produced via white one. And not to mention, the process is highly labor-intensive. But all this isn't going to waste, as the price of the final products reflects the hard work. This, along with the renewed interest among buyers and investments from other nations, has put golden silk on a revival fast track. To unravel more such historic events, download the Novello app and follow us on Instagram.